Hey, folks, it's your big old family member of the Dino Joe family. So, I hope you guys had a great long time. This is the Joe Brown's Mystery Legend Show. And Halloween is coming up. And this show is the Halloween Legend, a Halloween special for y'all. Now, I have somebody that I think is on his way, and his name is Rexy. Hey, Rexy, come on up, come on down. I'm in the studio.
Hey there, Joe Brown. Long time no see. We've been on hiatus for a while, haven't we?
Yes, indeed.
For our viewers, we should actually provide some background regarding this. Once again, like all fine podcasts or video shows or YouTube programs, we periodically have some technical matters to deal with, right, Joe Brown?
Yep.
So our deepest apologies
To the viewers.
to the viewers, to the subscribers to the show. But I think we're back on track now. So I think we're pretty good, eh, Joe Brown?
Yep.
So in the meantime, hopefully everyone has been able to watch older episodes of Joe Brown's Mysterious Legends and the Dino Joe Show. So keep that in mind in case you're waiting for the next show to be dropped and it's not quite available yet. All right. So it's been it's been a couple of weeks. And lo and behold, we are fast approaching the celebration of
Halloween.
Halloween. You all ready for Halloween, Joe Brown?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you dressing up?
Yep.
What you going as?
The Plague Doctor.
Plague Doctor.
The Black Plague Doctor.
That's a 2020 callback. Ma. Great. So do we have to wear hazmat suits?
No.
Good. No PPE for this show, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. So for those who were watching last time, we dropped an episode of Joe Brown's the Dino Joe Show. But since we're approaching Halloween, we thought we'd do Joe Brown's Mysterious Legends, or at least that's Joe Brown's idea, right?
Yep.
Okay. So today's topic is
The Black-Eyed Children.
black-eyed peas.
No.
What?
Children.
Do you mean the Black-Eyed Peas, the band?
No.
Or the Black-Eyed Peas, the legume?
No.
No.
The Black-Eyed Children, Rexy.
Oh, black-eyed
You want me to feed you peas?
children. Well, you'd be suffering if I had those. They're very gaseous,
Yeah, and you wouldn't like the taste of them.
and you wouldn't like the after effects of them. All right, so
That's true.
yeah, that is true. The black-eyed children. All right, well, tell me about the black-eyed children, Joe Brown.
Now, this is about the Black-Eyed Children.
Do you where did you hear about the black-eyed children, first of all?
I heard them when I was 14 years old.
Really? Interesting, because that about checks out right, because this topic has been floating around since the 1980s, and you were born in 1980.
Yep.
All right. So you found out about this when you're 14 years old.
Yeah, and it scared the wits out of me.
Whoa. Well, tell
I couldn't
us
sleep all night. My mom saw the terrified eyes,
Mm-hmm.
the terrified look in my eyes. So she told me, okay, you're sleeping with me tonight.
Oh, geez.
So we stuck to each side of our bed
Yeah.
and we both slept really good. Of course, I was awake all night until I passed out of exhaustion.
Does this still scare you?
Not so much anymore.
Not so much anymore. Okay. So the black-eyed children or the black-eyed kids. What do you want to call them? The black-eyed kids or the black-eyed children?
Black-eyed
The
children.
black-eyed children.
Now, uh, my cousin Chris, his friend, heard this from his friend, and he told me, Chris's friend told me about this legend when I was 14 years old.
Okay. Dramatic effect.
Now, when I was 14, and I'm 44 right now, folks, your age is only just a number. It doesn't identify you. What identifies you is what's on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Rexy. He's a kind dinosaur
I am.
on the inside, but he looks vicious on the outside.
Yeah. Grr. Okay, so let's hear it.
Now, all it began in Mexico. Now, I don't want to say his real name, but we'll call him Greg. And then
Is
we'll
it is
call,
it is this someone telling the story or is
yes,
oh Greg
Greg.
was telling the story.
Yeah, Greg told me
Got it.
about him and his girlfriend, and we'll call her Anastasia.
Greg and Anastasia.
So Greg and Anastasia were going out for a long time, and then their anniversary of going out happened to be on this day. They were going to go for a month and a half in Mexico City of Mexico, on the province of Mexico. And what happened? First, the first 2 nights were perfect. Nothing strange happened. They just had a great time. But on the third night, they ordered pizza and have it delivered. There was a knock at the door, and they thought the
Pizza.
pizza guy came even earlier than they expected. So Ken was gonna give him a big tip. But as he opens the door, there's no pizza guy. He doesn't see what's going on. So what happens? His head starts, there was a little bit of a giggle from downwards. He looks down and he sees two kids, a girl and a boy. And they asked him, we're lost. They told him, we're lost. Can we use your phone so we can call our parents to pick us up? And the guy was just gonna say, oh yeah, you can use our phone.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't, and then just before he said come in, they looked at him in the eyes. They had pure black eyes. And then he immediately slams the door, locks it, and puts that little chain lock on. And he's pale white in the face
So it was like of fear, right?
in fear. And he was hyperventilating like he was in labor. Yeah. And his girlfriend looked at him, saw this, saw he was like so scared. She could even see it in his eyes. So she walks up to the door and she's talking to him. It's like, why just slam the door on the pizza guy? She opens the door, no pizza guy, just these two little kids. They look up at her. She slams the door.
Jeez.
And this is around dawn, folks. Then she locks it and puts the chain lock on. And then the next thing that happened is that this black old sedan pulls up. This guy steps out, or what the boyfriend and girlfriend assume was a guy. Then he opens up the back door. The kids jump in. He closes it. He turns to face them. No face, no eyes, no eyebrows, no hair, no ears, no nose, no lips, nothing but a pure mass overhead. It's like he had no facial features, no identifying features. All he was wearing is a white top with a black tie, a black tie around his collar, black pants, and he looks at them and he starts waving his hands like to say, thank you for taking care of our kids. Bye.
So
That's the way he did. And then he got back in the car, opened up the door, got in, closed the door, and the sedan drove off. And then the boyfriend says, we're leaving right now.
okay, so what happened to the kids?
The kids, no one knows.
Okay, so hold on a second. So this guy just waves off saying, I'm dumping my kids on you. Have fun. Is that what you did?
No,
No.
he picked them up.
Oh, he picked them up. Okay. I thought he was leaving them there.
That's why he opens the door and the kids jump in.
Ah, okay. I get it. So, well, why were they freaked out? Just because they had black eyes?
Yeah, which is not natural for a human to have.
Okay, but maybe they were good kids. Maybe they were selling cookies.
They would have, they wouldn't have black eyes.
What if they just had some weird deformity or something?
No,
No?
not a Peter out of nowhere.
Oh, jeez. I don't know. I think these kids are being ousted. What do you think, Stephen? Stephen agrees. Yeah.
What do you think, Kirsten? If
I
you saw
think
black-eyed kids or a black-eyed child on your door, what would you do?
if they didn't speak to me, and then I would be really scared. I would think that they're demons or ghosts. But maybe they could just be wearing like contact lenses or something for Halloween. Was it
Maybe they
around
were goth
Halloween?
kids. Yeah.
Would you say, Rexy?
Maybe they were goth kids. You never know, right? Anyway, but this is the story that Joe Brown's explained, so I don't want to contradict or dispute this.
So
So there
the
you
guy
go.
said, we're leaving right now. Pack up your stuff. We're out of here. So before even a week could be up, they left Me they left Mexico City in the province of Mexico. Behind them, they got on the plane, went straight back to Canada, and went back to their normal lifetime routine.
Jeez.
And they swore, both of them swore, never to go there again.
Well, here's the bad news, Joe Brown. Although that story took place in Mexico, um, it turns out these stories have similar stories have appeared all over the internet And you know, one of the states that this happened, you just take a wild guess.
Let's see, the US.
Well, Texas. So Texas was one of the places where the legend apparently originated in the 80s. But of course, you have your version from Mexico, right?
Yeah.
Because these things, they get around, right?
Yes.
Um,
They've
anyway,
been seen all over the place,
yeah,
even in the United States.
yeah. Texas is in the US as well as in Portland, Oregon. Which is another location where this story came up. Um, you remember, you know what tabloids are, Joe Brown?
Yep.
Yeah, it's like when you go in the grocery store and you see those newspaper articles about Bat Boy and I don't know, Elvis is still alive. Um, you know, those are tabloids, right?
Yes.
So there's been a lot of coverage of these black-eyed children since the 1980s. And there was this reporter by the name of Brian Bethel. He was on a ghost-related mailing list telling of two apparent encounters with black-eyed children. And he said in 1996, there was a situation where he claimed a second person had a similar unrelated encounter. That was in Portland, Oregon. So all over the place. Oh, and it's become known as creepy. Remember the word it was called?
Creepy pasta.
Creepy pasta. Yeah, this is one of those creepy pasta things. Yeah,
So is Slender Man, and so is uh Jeff the Killer.
Jeff the Killer.
Yeah, he's a creepy pasta guy,
He's another creepy pasta character.
as well as Slender Man.
Yeah, Slender Man. Yeah. So if you go online and you might be able to find the article in the Abilene Reporter News. It describes his experience, and he insists that this did happen. Um, these black-eyed children showed up.
A lot of people do say that
Yes.
when it happens to them. A lot of people do say that.
So they knock on the door, and then they just show off their eyes. Is that what they do?
They usually ask for something.
Okay.
They usually ask for the phone.
They ask for the phone, and who are they trying to reach?
They usually say their mom and dad.
Okay, so they're lost children from the sounds of it.
Yeah.
Lost children with black eyes.
There's even said that there is white-eyed children too.
White-eyed children. Cool. Can you tell me about the white-eyed children?
They say the white-eyed children are just as mysterious as the black-eyed children.
Interesting. And apparently they do the same thing as the black-eyed children. They knock on doors. Oh, and they knock on something else besides doors. Do you know what that would be?
Tommyknocker, you mean?
Tommy knockers? No. They knock on doors. And what also has doors?
The garage.
Maybe they knock on a garage door. What about vehicles?
Oh, they knock on the doors of the vehicle?
They knock on the windows of the vehicles as well. So I guess they want to borrow the cell phone. Is that what they're doing?
They want you to let them in. Now, for everybody out there, even you, Kirsten, if you have a knock on the door, ask to see ask the child, and there's a child at the door or two, ask them to look you in the eye. If they have black eyes, do not let them in the house. If they have white eyes, do not let them in the house.
Well, that's the thing. The black-eyed children also follow certain codes of conduct. So they need permission to get inside the victim's house. Black-eyed children. So if you say you can't come in, they won't come in. I guess it's similar to what else, what other mythological or legends are there where you need the
vampires,
right? A vampire needs permission
to
to
enter
enter the house, right?
that victim's house, and if you let him in or her in, she sucks your blood until you're dead.
Which makes one consider that maybe black-eyed children are in essence vampires. They could be, right?
Yeah, but I've heard of instances when people let the black-eyed kids in. I've heard as soon as they leave, there is paranormal stuff going on all over the place.
Like what?
Ghosts, poltergeist, things disappearing and appearing in strange places.
Yeah.
Like you put your Kirsten, for example, you put your keys on the coat hanger, right? Or in your purse, you leave them. And you put your purse on, like, say, the kitchen counter. Your purse goes missing and then appears up at the front door.
That's
Or you
terrifying.
put your keys on the counter, they'll be gone missing and appear up in the living room on the TV.
That's the story of my life. I must have black-eyed children running around. I'm constantly losing stuff. Blame it on the black-eyed children. You know what? I'm gonna tell my Dino wife that when I get home. Ah, that sounds really spooky, Joe Brown.
Yep.
Spooky.
Stuff like that goes around. Books have been thrown.
Books have been thrown as well.
Yep. Which is a poltergeist, which in German means noisy ghost.
Another factor about the black-eyed children, you mentioned that there were two kids who showed up on the doorstep, right?
Yes.
Yeah. In the legend of the black-eyed children, they always travel in pairs or groups. They never travel alone. So that's how the rule goes. Now, with white-eyed children, it's different. They travel in groups. And the other thing, can you tell me more about the white-eyed children?
From what I've heard is the white-eyed children have to ask you to come into the house.
Well, no, that's the black-eyed children. The white-eyed children don't have to. They could just barge on in like they own the place. So that's a little unsettling. But they're also seclusive. And I said, oh, actually, you know what? I guess I got it the other way around. Sorry. White-eyed children rarely travel in groups when interchanging with their victims. And you'll often find them not necessarily in residential areas, but you'll find them where do we go for the pit? Where do we go for that?
Forests.
Yeah. So in forests or campgrounds. So you have more likeliness to encounter a white-eyed child, or a group, I should say, of white-eyed children. Wait, no, I get this all mixed up. White-eyed children, yeah, seclusive, that's right. And they don't need permission to get into your house. Instead, they'll just suddenly appear inside where they then motionlessly stare at the witness without any emotion. That sounds really unsettling.
Yes. I don't want either in this house.
Have you ever seen the movie Village of the Damned, Joe Brown?
Not that I can recall.
Yeah, it's a famous old science fiction film where this group of kids, they're white-eyed children and they have telepathic powers and they could read minds. So you might want to look that one up. It's called Village of the Damned. They made a remake with Kirstie Alley and Christopher Reeve a long time ago, but the original one's the one to look out for. Cool. What do you think white-eyed children represent, or what they could be?
They could be ghosts or angels
Yeah.
or both.
Some think that white-eyed children are messengers of death, as they're often shown appearing prior to the deaths of people. So I'd be very concerned if I had a visit from a white-eyed child.
Yes.
Right.
But on occasion, that happens to black-eyed children
The same thing happens with black-eyed children.
if you let them in.
If you let them in. If you let them in. But if you don't let them in, then you don't have anything to worry about.
No.
Okay. Well, there you have it.
Now, Rexy, do you have any jokes?
Do I have any jokes? Why, yes, I do. Joke time.
Kirsten,
All
what's
right.
my favorite time?
Okay, well,
Joke time.
joke
Yep.
time.
Joke time.
Do-ba-do-ba-do-ba-do, ba-do-ba-do-ba-do.
Take it away, Rexy.
Well, I wanted to be topical here since we're talking about black-eyed children and white-eyed children. So, well, I got a question for you, Joe Brown. Why did the eye go to the gym?
I don't know. Do you
It-
know, Kirsten?
It wanted to work on its aerobics.
Oh my God.
Rexy. Now that one's a little
We
goofy.
got some stinkers today. Well, you're the one who picks a topic, so this is what I get to work with.
Well, yeah,
All right.
I have to agree with that.
Yeah. What do you call an eye that's also a scientist?
Iason?
Iason. No. Want to try again?
What about you? You try, Kirsten.
I don't know.
The answer, what do you call an eye that's also a scientist? It would be an intellectual. Because you have to be so smart.
Now that one's a little bit lame.
Yeah. Yes. I don't think an intellectual wrote these jokes, but okay. What do you call an eye that's also a magician?
That's also a magician. I'm a djinn?
You're a djinn?
No, a genie?
A genie? Oh, you're trying. No, an eye illusionist. Ah,
No, that one's
That's a
good. I
good one.
like that one.
there's some wordplay for you on this fine Monday afternoon. Hey, we were talking about the black-eyed children and white-eyed children, and you mentioned that you learned about this online, right?
Yes.
So can you think to yourself what kind of pop culture where others would have heard about this?
Let's see.
I left you some notes on the desk there, Joe Brown.
Pop culture.
Well, first of all, there's a movie that was crowdfunded, and it's named after the topic. You know what?
Black-eyed kids.
Black-eyed kids. Yeah, that's supposed to be a pretty terrifying film. If you haven't gotten around to it, to seeing this. Now there was another one. Do you ever watch the Discovery Channel, Joe Brown?
Every once in a while.
Yeah, well, there was a famous series. It ran for a little while on the Discovery Channel. Do you know the name of it, that show? Monsters.
And Mysteries in Alaska.
Nope, in America. Monsters and Mysteries in America. So that was a documentary TV series. It started in March of 2013 and it ended on April 1st, April Fool's Day of 2015 on Destination America. But it does repeat itself. So that's the good news. So you could see that again if you watch the Discovery Channel. And it also appears on Animal Planet. Particularly during one of their monster weeks. So actually, I'm guessing that would be happening now as we're getting close to Halloween, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh yes, and the other topic, the only thing I could think of off the top of my head was what we're talking about, the Village of the Damned. So check that out. That show really freaks me out. I'll give you the premise. So from what I recall, some sort of laser beam comes down to Earth. All these kids are born and they're blonde haired and their eyes are white and they can read your mind and make you do things. And this one guy is trying to kill them because they're dangerous, but he has to force himself to block off his mind by thinking of a brick wall. But I don't want to spoil it for you, but it's a really good film. Good Halloween viewing.
I actually would like to see that.
Yeah, Village of the Damned. Cool. Do you have any other stories of the black-eyed kids and the white-eyed kids?
Nope.
No? All right.
Except Kirsten, if the black-eyed kids or any viewers, if the black-eyed children come to your house, ask them to look you in the face. And if they have black eyes or white eyes, do not let them in your house.
And if they have red eyes, they're probably high, so you might want to offer them some munchies, right?
If they have the red eyes, definitely do not let them in the house.
Yeah, they might be discombobulated. All right.
Now, if those kids are allowed in the house, everything is gonna go haywire.
Would that be like in the Cat in the Hat when they let in thing one and thing two, or thing one
Even
and thing
worse.
two, and it'd be even worse than the Cat in the Hat.
Times 10.
Whoa, whoa.
You put thing 1 and thing 2
And the cat.
and just the one and thing 2, put them on steroids and give them black eyes and let them go crazy.
Jeez. That sounds terrifying.
That does sound terrifying.
It does. I don't think I'm going to sleep very well tonight, Joe Brown.
Well, Rexy, you're gonna have to bear through it
I have to suck it up.
because
Gotta be a
I had
man.
to go through this when I was 14.
Yeah. How's your cousin Chris handling it now?
You mean his friend?
Oh, it was his friend. But I thought you said cousin Chris told you this story.
No, Chris invited his
His friend
friend
over.
of a friend of his,
Friend of a friend.
told his friend this story, and he told me this story.
Okay. Those are the best
And he
ways,
scared the living daylights out of me.
best ways of hearing a good story is from a friend of a friend of a friend. But that's why it's an urban legend, right?
Yep.
Absolutely. Hey, Joe,
That's if you want to believe that.
if you want to believe in it.
But I swear to God, by the look in his eyes, it's true.
Yikes. I got to tell you something, Joe Brown. We got to like and subscribe to Joe Brown's Mysterious Legends.
And Daniel Frankie is saying thank you.
Dino Frankie.
And Daniel Jackie's saying thank you.
Yeah. The whole gang's down here.
And Daniel Dustin's here.
Yeah.
Do you think that Dino Frankie would be able to smell the children, or can the dogs not see them? Would
I
they
think
bark?
dogs would be able to.
They would bark, right?
I think they would growl and bark at them.
Yeah. I think Dino Frankie is pretty scary. He'd scare them away, huh?
Frankie would actually really growl at them because dogs can likely sense other stuff.
Dino Frankie!
Wow, that was a neat trick. Technical difficulties again. You can still see us?
Yep.
Okay.
I can't see you.
We'll
I
just.
can't see Frankie though.
Oh, Frankie, Dino Frankie had an accident, but it's okay. We may as well. This is a good time to wrap things up, Joe Brown.
Anyways, guys, I hope you have a good Halloween. And the adults, if you're taking your children out, keep them close because the gals and the ghouls will be out in force. So keep them near you and keep them safe. Now, stay safe and stay wild. I'll see you on the next show. Adios.
Later. Boo.